Audio, everyone. Velocity here, back in action for more Silent Attraction. That's right. Another bull excuse of a situation has happened, and this man does not want to admit to the things that he's done. That is to say, a murder. So, it seems like we're about to drag him out of it. Have you forgotten the kineticist machine was ripped to shreds by an explosion? Short of me admitting to a crime, there's really no possible way for you to prove I did anything wrong. No! Order, order, order! Whatever this man says, I admit everything. He threatened to expose my secrets, so I went along with his plan. And Lord Van Zeeks? Yes. I hope you'll accept my apologies. What happens next is in your hands, of course. I have heard more than enough now. I hereby present the final findings of this court. This trial is not the proper form in which to pursue the alleged wrongdoings of Mr. Drebber. The defendant is Professor Albert Harebrain. Very true. That slipped my mind. Isn't he one of your closest friends? As the court has heard, Dr. Seath has admitted to the allegations brought by the defense, thereby absolving the defendant of any possible guilt. You mean? At the present time, it is the conclusion of this court, the defendant was not involved in any wrongdoing. Does the prosecution have any objection? None, my lord. Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruto. You've proven Professor Harebrain's innocence. Without further ado, then, the objection. Unless the prosecution or defense have any other matters to discuss. I don't know. This doesn't feel quite right. Why did Dr. Seath suddenly admit to it like that? Is everything alright, Mr. Naruto? Like you said before, the way the trial is set to end now, like the judge would certainly deliver a verdict of not guilty. But is that really what we want? What the defense should be pushing for now is immediate education? Brother testimony, honestly.
Objection.
The defense objects to the trial ending at this time, my lord. I beg your pardon? We demand one final testimony. What? You do realize I'm about to advocate in favor of your client, I presume? What are you planning now, my Nipponese friend? Why would you want to obstruct the conclusion of the trial at this point? No defense lawyer in his right mind would do that. Mr. Naruto, what exactly are you thinking? The truth. The whole truth. And a way to bring it all out into the open. Right. Yes, in hindsight. Yes, one word of warning before I go. If, in the course of the trial this afternoon, you perceive even a shadow of doubt about the truth, don't let it out of your sight. Pursue it like a dog with a bone. To the bitter end, you understand. Do not falter, whatever may come to pass. I'm sure Mr. Shlums knew. He must have deduced that this would happen. Yes, I'm here in court to advocate for my client and to secure acquittal. Obviously. But that's not all. I believe that I have a duty to the court to pursue the whole truth of the case until every last detail is laid bare. And that is why the defense calls for further testimony from Dr. Seath. Testimony from me? About what? About the nature of your collaboration with Mr. Anat Streber. In case it's escaped your attention, I've already admitted to everything I did. The whole truth has already been revealed. To stop wasting everyone's time. As his lordship made very plain, your client will get the acquittal you wanted for him. There's simply no point protracting this business further with another tedious cross-examination.
Objection!
Oh! Pray forgive my careless handling of that hollowed bottle. I slipped. That's what you call it? What is your objection, Lord Van Zix? The prosecution also calls for supplementary testimony from the witness. Don't be stupid. If there's more to this case than has yet to come light, then I will join my learned friend in pursuing the facts until the bitter end. You'll what? Lord Van Zix? This is most irregular, to say the least. However, as the prosecution has calls for it, I will uphold the request. Dr. Seath, you will testify for the court, explaining the full extent of your involvement in the murder apparently committed by Mr. Dreber. Very well. The waxwork plot. It all began at the scene when I saw the waxwork and the note tucked inside its jacket. The actual body of the victim, as indicated in the note's instructions, was beneath the experimentation stage. The experimentation stage? That doesn't make sense. The body had to be arranged in certain ways to implicate the defendant, which was my job. I enlisted the help of the entire forensic investigation team to dress the scene appropriately. The truth about the execution 10 years ago, the state secret at the highest level, I had to protect it. So I was right. The stage and the machine were all specifically designed for the deception. So it seems. And all meticulously prepared, did well to see through it. You're a very shrewd boy. So kind of you to say. And what about this autopsy report then? All I did was record the location of the body as being in the crystal tower instead of under the stage. That's all? That's a terrible corruption. Only my team were aware of the deceit, and then only under my explicit instructions. Nobody else at Scotland Yard knew anything about it, I assure you. You must be thankful for small mercies, I suppose. Well, I believe that testimony has clarified everything. There's no particular need for a cross-examination, I would say. No, I disagree. I can't shake the feeling that something's wrong. Just look at the expression on Dr. C's face. It's the defense's right to cross-examine any witness following testimony. What is it about you Japanese that makes you all so doggedly persistent? Very well. You so desire, Hansel. Proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. I know where I want to go as the team one. Immediately I want to go there because that seems weird. That's fine. Actual body of the victim as indicated in the notes. Instruction was beneath. Body had to be arranged in certain ways. I enlisted the help of my entire team. Press. The entire team? In perverting the course of justice? My team consists of the very best investigators there are. I demand loyalty from all members. We operate on a code of chivalry of sorts. You aid and abetted a murderer, committed perjury, and dare to talk about chivalry? It was a matter of priorities. What? Nothing was more important than protecting the secret of the professor. My team did what was necessary without losing sight of the primary goal. I consider their conduct exemplary. Don't concede the point, Miss Nardo. You mustn't let her win. Need a lawyer. I'll take that silence as a tacit acceptance. Now, can we move on? She said years ago as a state secret, the highest level. I had to protect it. Why did you have to protect it? But at what cost? Fate in Scotland Yard is going to suffer a terrible blow as a result of this. And your precious secret is out now anyway. Yes, as you say. I take full responsibility. Blow me down, Dr. Seath! Surely there was some other way you could have protected the secret. No, there really wasn't. I've done my utmost, believe me. In many ways, I respect your determination. Whew, I nearly froze under that cold stare as she said that. I do believe she was being genuine though, Mr. Nardo. So that's her story. She's admitted everything and revealed her full involvement in the crime. I do wonder if there could be really much more to it. Well, I don't know, but I just have a feeling. Do you, Mr. Nardo? The truth is, I find it strange too. How those two are reacting to this is in completely opposite ways, I mean. Yes, exactly. For some reason, I feel sure they're still trying to hide something. Tucked inside the jacket, as indicated in the notes. Let's press this.
Hold it!
So you knew about the special construction of the stage used to carry out the trick then? It was quite obvious what had happened with the victim and the waxwork. And you switched the two over, didn't you? In other words, you recorded the victim's body as having been discovered in the Crystal Tower. And the waxwork? I wrapped it and sent it to by carriage, the Pacific address at the Pacific time. And why were you given such instruction? Presumably so it could be recovered by Dreba and returned to Madame Duspel's. I see. But then you put the birdcage back on the experimentation stage? Yes. Although someone obviously made a mistake about which cage should go where. I thought I made it perfectly clear to the team. But still. I suppose you were focused on the victim's body. That being an important detail. Had to be arranged in certain ways. Okay, so we need to press this. When you say arranged, I presume you mean with this? Yes, the instructions in the engineer's note. said something along the lines of, fabricate some evidence to make it clear that Hairbrain alone could have killed Osmond. So, you mean that was your doing? I fetched Hairbrain's ridiculous screwdriver from the stage and took it with me, alone, to the abyss under the stage where the birdcage had fallen. Alone, Doctor? I didn't feel it would be appropriate to involve anybody else in that particular part of the deception. There was a void under the stage where I found the birdcage lying in the dirt. I approached it, leaned down, and slowly opened it up. Then, I took the screwdriver in both hands and plunged it into the man's chest. Oh! She was the one that did it? And then you noted that in your fake autopsy report? As a fictitious cause of death? Exactly. So the actual cause of death was the trauma resulting from a 30-foot drop. My word. What is it, Mrs. Sato? Something about Dr. C's last statement. It's playing on my mind, that's all. Yes, mine too. Dr. Seath! There's really no need to shout. I can hear you perfectly well. The defense calls for you to add what you just said to your formal testimony. Oh? Which part? What I want her to supplement her testimony with. What she did to the victim. Ooh, it could be one of the other. I think it has to do with the screwdriver, honestly. Through the griddle and the base of what... Yeah, actually it's that. What she did to the victim. How you stabbed Mr. Osmond in the chest. That part. Fine, if that's what you want. There's really no need to point. The prosecution concurs. Very well. We will supplement your testimony now, witness. If you wish, my lord. Over the victim's corpse, where it lay in the toppled cage, and plunged the screwdriver into the chest. Let's press a little bit. So it was you who stabbed Osmond with it? Yes. Far easier than the next section, I assure you. No precision required. What a welcome change. The victim died instantly from a snapped neck. All I did was carry out the instructions I'd been given. As unflinching as ever, no doubt. I imagine you didn't bat an eyelid when you drove the weapon into his body. There was no need to bat my eyelids. And what else did you do to twist the facts? Remind the court, why don't you? If you wish. And plunge the screwdriver into the chest. This is literally, it's not the case. And I understand that it has that, but at the same time, I'm just like, it shouldn't, because it's like on top. It's a 30-foot thing that was found there. But it could be a fabrication too. I think the way that he was killed perhaps was not quite that either. we look here, the screwdriver isn't there. Why isn't it there? That does not make sense to me. Why wasn't the screwdriver there? That would give implication. And it doesn't. That's my thinking for it. And then this here, nothing. There might be something with this, generally speaking. Alright, I think we're gonna look at one more thing before I bocce ball this.
Hold it!
From what you described before, it sounds like the note was anonymous. Did you have any idea who was behind it? There are very few people in the know about what really happened 10 years ago to start with. But anyway, I never heard of this engineer, so no, I had no idea. Yet despite not knowing who was behind the plan, you went along with it? I had no choice. Protecting the professor's secret was my only concern. But the horse was bolted now, and the stable door would never shut down. Scotland Yard's reputation would be immensely damaged as a result of all this. Yes, thank you, Lord Van Zeeks. I'm well aware of that. So as I understand it, when you found the birdcage, was the Wackwork model. Where, then, was the victim's body? Maybe I should have put the other one in. Had to be arranged in certain ways. I stood over the victim. Let's press this only for the fact that we could just cycle out the other one. Because we are doing that, and I just kind of like, you know? Let's put it out there. Oh, you know what we could do? Court record. What was supposed to be first? The stab, right? So it was a reverse situation. Is the case. That's what she's saying. But we can make it to where it's like, oh, this is the truth actually. She stabbed him first. That wouldn't make quite sense, right? And then we get this. I need to see what the other one says before I can be like, oh, it's this one or that one. It literally is just that. I think I hacked up. It does seem like I could do multiple, like, takes of it. Being in the fall, of course. Change the supplementary. That's what I wanted. We want to change it. Have her change it. Dr. Seath, what you said before about the real cause of death, I believe that may be significant, so could you change your supplementary statement to explain that instead? Very well. The actual cause of death was a neck trauma. Osmond suffered from a 30-foot fall.
Hold it!
You're quite sure of that? It was as a result of a broken neck? Yes. As a professional, that was more than apparent. Never know, just by looking at the photograph of the victim, though, would you? No, that's very true. Obviously not. Which is precisely why coroners are needed to determine the actual facts. Yes, assuming they can be trusted. There's no point calling assessment into question without evidence. Let's get back to the testimony. Very well. It's something here. The actual cause of death was neck trauma. Osmond suffered from the 30-foot fall. Is there anything that we could present? This is all part of the elaborate trick. So it'd either be this, shows apparent stab wound. It would have to be the placement of things, if anything. Appears to be wearing monocle of black glasses. I don't think that'd be it. Could it be glass? Has a little ding on it. Found poking through the griddle in the base of what remains of the kineticist machine. It is a very distinctive handle. Because it was in the kineticist machine, so that's a little bit weird, right? It's a little bit odd and confusing why it's like that. Rigor mortis would not set in, so the blood would still be there. This effectively doesn't matter per se. Inflicted by a sharp implement. She just said sharp implement. My thing is, and honestly is the case in point, is the position of the actual thing. And what this says is that it's through the griddle in the base. How did it move from there to there? Obviously we'd want it to keep it on the victim itself. So I think you're right in what we said.
Hold it.
So I gotta bring it back here. Do the whole thing. No looking around is gonna particularly work for this. It's just is the way it is. So to me, it's just kind of like there isn't, like, you say that you have it, and like, yeah, there's blood on it, right? But like, why wasn't it there? I don't understand why that's the case. It should not be the case. Yes, we need to change it. Have her change it. We're gonna change it and we're gonna press it with that. With the weapon. I just needed to see what the other one said because I wasn't sure. Other one seems pretty ironclad, or just like, oh yeah, it was the fall that did it.
Objection.
No, it was not that. I lost it. Damn. 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 I lost it, fam. Oh. Dang. I lost it again. I can't believe this. Okay. Can we...
Guilty.
It's all guilty now?
Guilty.
I like how it's like, oh, it's been done. But they're all guilty.
Kill me.
Damn. I thought for sure that would be the case in point. So we could also point out to the fact that it could have been like the other way around as a possibility. I like how he's guilty anyway. Dang. Damn.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
I was so close to what it was. Ha 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 ha. I'm so annoyed.
Hold it.
We have to do this. We have to do this. I had to look this shit up, but I was on the right track on this shit. I had the wrong statement, but the right thing to present, but not in the way that I presented it. I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. But I'm right in my thinking. I am entirely right in my thinking, which is great. I figured that out. I just could not figure out how to prove it, which, as someone that sucks at geometry, makes a lot of sense. Please. Have her change it, yes. Okay, so let's present this.
Objection.
See, look at that shit. I had it, right? Got a nasty feeling. This inconsistency points to extremely uncomfortable truth. What on earth is the matter, Counsel? Have you lost your tongue? I apologize, my lord. Dr. Seath, in that last statement of yours, there's just one point. That seems to defy explanation. Out with it, my learned friend. There's an obvious inconsistency between your description and this photograph, which shows the victim in the birdcage following the events that led to his death.
Objection.
The court has already examined the photograph in depth. There's nothing new we can learn from it.
Objection.
Yes, we have already considered it. That's true. But we now know the facts to be different. What do you mean? This OST is so fire. I believe we should let the defense explain. Where in this photograph would you see the alleged inconsistency with the witness's statement? It'd be here, wouldn't it?
Take that.
Look closely at the bloodstain on the victim's chest. It clearly extends the downward direction towards the man's feet. And why is that significant, Counsel? If the victim was stabbed moments before the kineticist machine was set in motion, that's entirely expected. Of course. Of course. No, that's not what happened. Exactly, my lord. Dr. Seath made it very clear in her testimony just now. The point at which she stole Professor Hairbrain's screwdriver and stabbed the victim was after the grand deception was set in motion, when the birdcage had fallen below the stage out of sight. From the shape of it, it's clear the birdcage would have fallen on its side, with a 30-foot drop. And if the victim had already been stabbed whilst inside the birdcage in that position, the blood from the wound would have spread out equally in all directions. For it to have formed the latitude appearance we see in the picture is inconceivable. Given that the victim's blood seeped vertically downward from the wound, it must be the case that when you stabbed Mr. Osmond, he was standing up. In short, Dr. Seath, your last testimony was a total fabrication. I knew it. I was right. Now I've identified that contradiction. There's only one way to explain the facts. You've all been under a great misapprehension here. What? What sort of misapprehension? Dr. Seath? You claim you were coerced into helping Dr. Drebber as a result of the note he left in the waxwork. You claim that you made changes to the scene of the crime to implicate the defendant. And you claim that you authored a fake autopsy report to cover your tracks. But one of those claims is an out-and-out lie. Because the question of what the bloodstain really tells us has only one possible answer. If that is the case, what is it, man? Counsel, you've clearly struck upon a revelation. Now tell the court what it is. Which part of Dr. C's story is shown to be a lie by the contradiction to your testimony? The stabbing of the victim. The answer is very simple if you consider the sequence of events. If, when the victim was stabbed, the blood from the wound seeped downwards, as it did, we could be sure that the victim must have been either sitting or standing upright at the time. But as you rightly pointed out, the birdcage would have fallen on its side when it fell beneath the stage. Yes, it would, which tells us that the victim must have been in that position of his own accord.
Objection!
That's impossible. The man was dead, remember? No, that is the misapprehension. When the birdcage fell from the stage into the void below, it must have hit the ground with considerable force. But Mr. Osmond didn't die in the fall. He probably lost consciousness for a while, but when he came around, he got to his feet to climb out of the cage. Just as Dr. Seath appeared. If the victim was in fact alive at that point in time, it changes everything. Mr. Odie Osmond's killer wasn't the defendant, Professor Albert Harebrain. Nor was it the mastermind behind the stage trickery, Mr. Enoch Drebber. It was you, Dr. Courtney Seath! Order! Can this possibly be true? Have you been taking me for a fool? It was you, was it? You killed him! You hoped that by admitting to being an accomplice in Mr. Drebber's scheme, the trial would end. Or you were accused of a far worse crime. Cold-blooded murder. Oh, do shut up! You're so desperate now you're making all this up as if I would do something like that.
Objection!
I assure you the defense is not desperate, Doctor. Mr. Naruto has established the facts using evidence and logic alone. Huh, logic? Don't make me laugh. Sadly, your logic has a gaping hole in it. What? What do you mean? If I have thought it was obvious, a motive, boy. You're lacking a motive. What possible reason would I have to kill Miss Osmond? Osmond was involved in any number of criminal activities, from coercion to thief to murder. But there's no known connection to Dr. Seath there. I'm rather relieved to say it does seem somewhat far-fetched. True, there's no obvious motive. There's still something in the back of my mind. I feel sure I've seen something somewhere that hints at the coroner might have done this. Yes, I might have tampered with the crime scene and concocted a fake report. But murdering someone for no reason is a very different story.
Objection!
No! When you questioned what possible reason you could have for wanting to kill Mr. Osmond, something did come to mind. What? What was it, Consul? Enlighten the court at once. Yes. We saw it yesterday, didn't we? Something that seemed strange. We had no reason to suspect it at all at the time. There's a particular object that explains why Dr. Seath would have wanted to kill Mr. Osmond. It has to be the Iron Mask. It's the Iron Mask! You've lost me. Huh? Sorry, Mr. Naruto, but why the Iron Mask? Well, of all the things I saw yesterday, it left the greatest impression, so... Clearly you have no idea what you're talking about. I think I might have said the wrong thing. Forgive my interruption, Dr. Seath. But what my colleague meant to say was scalpels. Perhaps that makes a little more sense to you. Sasha-san seriously just saved our ass. Of course. Did you say scalpels? It would appear the word has struck a chord, Doctor. You! Come on, out with it! She's embezzling. I remember that now. It was yesterday when we visited your laboratory. Look at this big, thick book here. It appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record of the forensic investigation team's spending, I think. Oh? What is it? It's clear that the team purchased various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but... well, one entry seems rather strange. Really? In what way? They're buying 500 scalpels every month. $500 scalpels? A month? At first, I wondered what on earth you could be using that many scalpels for. But actually, I realize now it's not the scalpels themselves that are significant. It's the money for them, disappearing every month from the department's accounts. Osmond's criminal organization relied heavily on extortion for its funding. Tracing the money from the forensics investigation team's account to find out where it was going would be extremely straightforward. 10 years ago, when Mr. Osmond was still a journalist, I wrote this article about Mr. Drebber. He may well have stumbled upon information as he was researching the story. Information relating to Dr. Seath's darkest secret that he would use to rake money from her for the next decade. A darkest secret? Good lord, you mean... I don't know what happened on the night of that execution 10 years ago. But clearly the opportunity to rid yourself of that menace was too tempting to pass up. So in the end, you weren't coerced at all, were you? You did it entirely of your own free will. You stabbed Mr. Osmond in the heart with all your might. To silence the blackmailer who knew your dark secret forever. You'll never understand, none of you. But we've had to keep covered up all these long years.